Just wanted to give everyone enough time to watch the movie before I spoiled it for you. It's completely not true. No, I've been sick as shit. I've been really ill, like the plague kind of stuff. Had I not been ill, I would have had this thing up Friday morning. As it is, here it is. So if I seem a little low energy in here, it's not because I'm not, excited. It's that I actually am low energy and feverish and hoarse, and I'm coughing among every jump cut. But I love it. And this isn't gonna be a super involved, I'm not gonna go beat by beat through the movie. Shit, I saw this movie on Tuesday. I've literally been bedridden for a few days. I think the NyQuil has wiped away most of it. Dude, NyQuil's terrible. Don't ever take it. Fever dreams are bad. NyQuil dreams are worse. And that is a solid spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, please, you probably shouldn't watch this. A lot of people have seen it by now, so I think you're probably safe. But if you have seen it or you don't care about spoilers, welcome. Let's just talk about spoilers. So first of all, let's talk about some spoilers. Let's break the fourth wall into our world and talk about spoilers. Hot toys. I'm looking at you. All right, I love those Hot Toys 6-scale collectibles. The thing about Hot Toys is Hot Toys are pretty screen accurate. Generally speaking, if the Hot Toys has something, that means they have it in the movie. And they're usually pretty good at hiding spoilers. For The Force Awakens, for the Rey pre-order, they actually didn't show the fact that Rey was going to come with a lightsaber until after the movie came out. I thought that was a swell move. But before Avengers Infinity War came out, they have their Thanos pre-order, and there you go. Every Infinity Stone in the gauntlet. And just at that point, I was like, yeah, so he gets all the stones. But they're still gonna stop him though, right? Like that's superhero movie 101. Yeah, we'll get there. So Thanos' intro in this movie I thought was a great intro for Thanos, though I do have a problem with what happened with... All right, here we go. It starts out Thanos is on the Asgardian ship with all the Asgardian survivors. Make it one survive. They're all dead now. Kills Heimdall, so Heimdall's dead, which is great in showing that Thanos cannot be stopped. I mean, from this scene, you see that he is a force to be reckoned with. This dude is more powerful than anything we've seen. However, I do run into the thing, like, between Aliens and Alien 3, I've always had a problem with how Alien 3 started per how Aliens ended, all right? You see Aliens, Ripley goes in literally into the heart of the alien nest to save Newt. They all fight for their lives, and Ripley, Newt, and Hicks, they all get out of there alive because they've earned it. And in the beginning of the third movie, 2 out of the 3 of them are dead. Just in the intro. I kind of felt like that was the case here. Thor Ragnarok, you have all those monologues about how Asgard isn't a place, Asgard is her people, Asgard will live on with her people. Nope, whether Asgard is a place or the people, Asgard is dead now. Getting everybody on the ship, oh, we gotta get the survivors out of here so Asgard can live, only to die in the beginning of the next movie. I don't know, I've just never liked that kind of storytelling. If I give this movie a pass for it, I have to give Alien 3 a pass for it, and that's just not in my genetic makeup to do. So no, the Alien franchise doesn't get a pass, neither does this one. Still a great intro for Thanos though, and he chokes out Loki and snaps his neck in front of Thor. And we all lament the war criminal Loki. The first Avengers movie was on TV this weekend. I was like, man, Loki is a dick. But now we feel bad for him, but we can't help it. Thor does get an eye. He gets like another eye instead of an eye patch, which I personally like Thor with the eye patch. It's like pick a side. You keep his eye or give him an eye patch. Don't make him lose an eye only to give him a new eye. I'm saying when you do things to characters and they lose an eye per se, give them an eye patch and have that be the thing. That sticks with them now for many movies. If you give them an eye immediately, you have to wonder like, why'd you even lose the eye in the first place? You're just back to where you started, with an eye. I like the collector's base scene. They go in there, everything's fine, Thanos is there, then Gamora stabs Thanos, and then it all just wipes away and you see everything there is just burning. Which means the collector's probably dead. What, are we not getting a Howard the Duck movie now? With Howard the Duck is Howard the fucked if he was there. But it's another scene where it shows how powerful that gauntlet makes Thanos. He turns Drax into what, blocks? He like just kind of makes him fall apart. Funny thing is when Thanos leaves, Drax goes back to normal. I mean, I wouldn't make him go back to normal. That would be it. If I were Thanos, I'd be Drax, you're that forever. In a world where you can turn lasers into bubbles, I would turn Drax into a bubble and just pop him, just boop. Well, now you're dead. Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit actually does have the Iron Spider arms. I thought that was cool. Would have blown my mind if I saw it for the first time on screen, but I didn't. Saw it on the Hot Toys page. One of the missions is Thor has to go get his weapon. He has to go get his weapon from the guy who actually made the Infinity Gauntlet for Thanos, who is Peter Dinklage playing a giant dwarf. Which I think I'm remembering this right. Did I see Thor take the power of a dying star to his chest? Like when he was in that ring and he was balancing it out, did the beam go through him? Is the NyQuil making that fuzzy? Like, am I remembering that correctly? Because if Thor took that shit to his chest, he's officially the most broken thing in the world. In the universe, really. What else can... He's nuke-proof. Thanos, with all the Infinity Stones, took an axe to to the chest, and it really hurt him. Thor took a dying star to the chest, and it hurt him badish. Thor greater than Thanos. I did like the scene where Thanos goes with Gamora to that place where the Infinity Stone is that she's hidden, partly because they had Red Skull there. So we get to see what happened to Red Skull, who's straight up, all right, who didn't think Skeletor? Do you think I thought Skeletor. My one question is like, how have you eaten here? What's the food like? But he has to sacrifice what he cares about, and I was with Gamora on this one. I was like, well, you don't care about anything. You're fucked. That's the kind of puzzle that's like a Horcrux puzzle. And when Thanos squeaked a tear, I was like, oh no, he gives a shit. Oh no, you're dead. Which right there, I'm gonna try to break this one down for Gamora's death. The impact for me was the fact that Thanos had to kill his daughter, who he apparently cared deeply about. The impact was not Gamora died. The impact was not Star-Lord's girlfriend died. I guess the Guardians of the Galaxy angle doesn't hit me as much as the Thanos angle does. Maybe I'm cold to it because I feel like Star-Lord loved Gamora more than Gamora apparently loves Star-Lord. He showed it more than she did anyway. So now that she's gone, I'm like, don't worry, Star-Lord. Next time, you'll find someone who loves you at the level you love them. It'll be equal. The lack of Hulk bums me out. It's like the Hulk was having performance issues. Hulk just couldn't come out to play today. It's fine. It's a common problem. 1 in 5, actually. There was Hulk Buster action, which in the trailer it showed the Hulk switch the Hulk out with Hulk Buster. That's actually what happened. My favorite fight in the movie is the Thanos versus Iron Man, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Mantis. That was just a great fight. In that scene where Thanos uses the gauntlet, he just goes kaboom. You see the moon go. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I thought he was bringing the moon down on everybody. I mean, granted, he just basically took chunks of the moon, had meteorites come down. That was a great scene. They almost got it. They have him hypnotized. They're trying to take the gauntlet off. Star-Lord learns that Gamora's dead, and then he just flips out. And Star-Lord just loses his shit and starts punching Thanos. Like, I understand you're gonna be peeved. Why don't you get the thing off of his arm, then shoot him in the face? And they almost get it off. The Infinity Gauntlet literally comes off, and he grabs just the end of it, and it gets it back on, and he just beats everyone down. I liked when Thanos had his moment with Stark where he's like, I respect you, Stark. After this is done, half of humanity will still be around. I hope they remember you. It's a big deal, and it shows depth when an opponent can look at his opponent and be like, no, but I do respect you. I do like Doctor Strange's response. He saw every outcome. He saw millions of outcomes. He's like, there's one where we survived, and you can kind of assess it's the one where he gave him the stone. I imagine in every scenario where they fought him, they died, and he got the stone anyway. But if Strange gave Thanos the stone, they would live, but half of them would still disappear, but I imagine he knew that Tony Stark would not disappear. So basically, all that was just to save Tony Stark's life. That was the one thing that could change in that scenario. I thought that was a smooth move because, as Strange said, we're in the end game. You got to accept the reality of your situation. The scene where Thanos gets the Mind Stone was actually perverse. I loved it, but it was perverse because I knew someone would reverse time to bring someone back to life, but I thought Doctor Strange was going to do that to save, I don't know, Captain America's life or something. I did not think Scarlet Witch was going to kill the man she loves, Vision, and then Thanos was going to come, reverse time, undo it so he can just rip the stone out of his head anyway. So Scarlet Witch can go ahead and feel that grief for nothing. Then Thor's axe comes out of nowhere, just lands into Thanos' chest. I guess that's how it had to happen. Guy has all the stones, so you're gonna have to snipe him from like a mile away, which essentially is what happens, but he says you should have aimed for my head. Bam! What did you do? I mean, his gauntlet looks messed up too. It looks fried. Still works though, because he conjured a portal. Then everyone starts disappearing. They start turning into ash or dust or insulation foam or whatever they turn into. Well, not everyone, half the people. First one's Bucky. He just gone. I don't have my phone with me, so I don't know exactly. All right, let's try to remember. Doctor Strange, I believe, was one of them. Spider-Man, that one crushed me because he's a kid. Like, I don't feel so well. I don't feel so well. I mean, he just starts crying. It was sad. Tony Stark feeling responsible. Tony Stark should have been like, this actually isn't my fault. If you were on Earth, odds are it's still a coin flip whether or not you die there anyway. Or disappear, whatever's happening. Oh, King T'Challa, Black Panther, he disappeared. I remember that shit because I was like, okay. So I don't think this is actually a permanence. Black Panther was well received by critics, well received by the audience, and crushed in the box office. You mean to tell me they're just gonna vaporize the star? No. So they're coming back somehow, some way. Because actually, if we want to start speculating and doing theories here, this was the internet without speculation. In a world of multiverse, there would be any infinite number of infinite possibilities of people who did or did not disappear in this 50-50 coin flip of half the people disappear. But let's just say it's divided among two universes. What if the ones we saw disappear in their universe saw everyone else disappear? Maybe it's their way of dividing the MCU, being like, all right, so not everything has to be linked now. Wouldn't that be neat if Black Panther 2 starts out and it's T'Challa and Bucky not disappearing, seeing Captain America disappear or something? That or they're just gonna bring him back somehow. That or they're just gone. But we'll see what happens. The most important thing to remember from this movie is, and this is something that hit me when I was driving home from the screening. This is truly Thanos' movie. It shouldn't be called Avengers anything. It should be called Thanos Infinity War. If you really see it as this guy who is trying his best to bring balance to the universe, and you see the Avengers as this rabble of super-powered militia trying to stop him, I think you'll see this movie at the most fulfilling angle, the most fulfilling spectrum. And that's a neat twist on the superhero genre right there. The post-credit scene, of which this movie has one of, is Nick Fury and Agent... I can't think of her name. Agent Hottie? Can I still call her that in 2018? NyQuil is the devil! Anyhow, they're in a car, and then there's a car accident that happens. They get out, they look in the car, there's no one in it, and a helicopter crashes, and it's actually, I like the fact that it showed that. In a world where half the people are disappearing, there's gonna be a lot of helicopters that come down, a lot of vehicle accidents. People are gonna die as a result of people disappearing. So it's not just half the population's gonna go away, half the population and deaths as a result of that half the population. Then Agent Hottie disappears, and then Nick Fury is sending a text on this really analog piece of tech. And then of course him disappearing censors him from saying motherfucker as he disappears, and it lands on the ground. It shows Captain Marvel's logo, and then that's it. He was texting Captain Marvel. But you do wonder, is it really half the people in the universe that disappear? I imagine it's not compartmentalized to Earth because, you know, we saw the Mantis disappeared. So are there really beings on the other side of the known universe that just half their population disappeared? Did Thanos get to choose who disappears? Because if I were him, dude, I'd be like, all right, half the population. But in that half the population, 100% of the Avengers are just gonna disappear. Or is it just random chance? In which case, none of the Avengers could have disappeared. Point is, if NyQuil does not betray me, Thor took a son to the chest. And that does indeed make him mighty. Alright, so Avengers Infinity War, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And since I am literally, actually the last person on YouTube to get their Avengers Infinity War spoiler video up, if you could send this around to, you know, people who've seen the movie, I'd appreciate that love. It'd help me out. Fucking pathogens, I swear. Just hamstringing my YouTube channel. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.